Today I'm going to be working on the 2500 HD Chevy Silverado. Going to go ahead and tighten up the emergency brakes on the rear wheels. And if your truck is a two-wheel drive, you need to make sure that you chock the front tires, because nothing's going to be holding this once we lift it up. So what we're going to do right now is go ahead and take off the hubcap, take off the tire. Simple enough. So the plastic hubcap is going to be a 21 millimeter, and then your lug nuts are, if they're stock, they're going to be a 22 millimeter. All right, so I got the brake caliper off. You see here, the leaf spring is actually in the way of the bolts. So what I had to do was I had to remove the lower bolt, which would be down here first. Oh, sorry, back up. So for the caliper, you have those starts, the T55. You have to remove those, but I did the lower one first, and then what I did was I pivoted this back and I took the brake pads out, and then I removed the lower bolt there for the caliper bracket, and then I worked on the top one here. It was a 1/2 inch 18 millimeter. And then what happens is the wrench actually starts going up against the leaf spring, so you can't get it out. So I switched it to an 18 millimeter 3/8 socket, and that gave me enough room to be able to use it in there. And then I removed the caliper there. All right. Once you get the caliper assembly off, if your rotor is stuck on here and you're not able to get it off, you want to be careful with it. If we're going to be reusing the same rotor, because we're just servicing the emergency brake, you want to put a towel or something behind it here, and then you're going to want to turn the wheel a little bit. If you can't, put it in neutral. And man, at this point you got the back wheels up, so it doesn't really matter, but you can put it in neutral and just hit it with the rubber mallet on this side, pulling it outward. You're going to have to keep turning it left, right, and hitting it from the back, and then just got to give it a little bit of effort, but this is just going to slide right off, just like that. And then those are your emergency brake pads. So you want to check them out. These ones look like they have some pretty good meat on them. So I am just going to turn the wheel there and readjust them. And I'm going to get them cleaned up a little bit. They look pretty nasty there. And then you want to check the inside of your rotor and make sure it's not damaged, and clean inside there as well. So something that's very important before you start adjusting the shoes is that you mark, this is the star wheel right here that we're going to be using a flathead to adjust, just like that. And then you're going to be pushing up on it, and I'll show you just in a second, but I need to mark it. You want to mark one of the teeth right here with something that you're going to notice, so that when you turn it a revolution, you'll be able to see how many times you turn it, so that you could do the same thing to the other side, so that they're adjusted evenly. Alright, so what I'm going to go ahead and do right now is I'm going to mark right here, so then every time I turn it, I know how many times I've turned it around to adjust the other side so that they're even. Alright, so right now we're working on the passenger side rear tire. So to expand the shoes, you need to turn the star wheel towards you. So if you're facing the front of the vehicle, you're going to turn the star wheel to the right, just like that. Alright, there's not really like a good way of doing it, but just find what works best for you and hit it with the, don't hit it, but move it with the flathead screwdriver like so, and then that's gonna open up the shoes that way. Alright, so what you want to do now, once you have adjusted the star wheel and you've adjusted it about 1 to 2 turns, you want to go ahead and put your rotor back on. You don't need to tighten it or anything, but you You may need like 2 hands or something, but you want to go ahead and grab it with the truck in neutral, and you're going to want to make sure that it still turns without the shoes dragging on there, because obviously it's an emergency brake. You don't want it touching at all until you actually apply the emergency brake. So once you've adjusted it, put the rotor back on. If it's easier for you, you can put the tire back on, and that may help you turn it. But you want to make sure it does not drag at all. And then you can go ahead and try the actual pedal inside the truck and see if the pedal feels a lot firmer and grabs a lot sooner. Then you're all set, and then you move on to the next side. Now I know a lot of people are going to be saying, why are you removing the brake caliper, the brake system, tire, everything, just to adjust the star wheel right here? You know, you're done, blah blah blah, you shouldn't have done all that work. This is just a helpful video. I wanted to show everybody what's going on in here. And also this was an opportunity for me to inspect everything and inspect the brake pads and make sure everything was good. And then to also just re-lubricate all the brakes and everything. Everything was pretty dry and rusted. But most importantly, I wanted to show everybody what's going on in here when you're adjusting this. If you look closely, right behind the star wheel, right here, there is a piece of rubber. This piece of rubber can be accessed from the rear, right there. But one thing I want to show you guys is, look at that space. I could barely get my hand in here. So trying to fit a flathead screwdriver from the back, once you pop out this the rubber grommet, you're not really going to be able to see what you're doing. So everything's just going to be kind of eyeballing and just freeing it and seeing you know, how tight it is as you go. So you may turn this side 2 revolutions, you may only turn the other side 1 revolution. This, if you have the time for it, you could take everything off, do it this way. If you're in a bind and you got some cool little flathead screwdrivers that have a 90-degree angle or whatnot, or you have some other way of doing this, you could try to get a flathead screwdriver in there, pop that grommet out, and then you can access the star from there, which is this piece right here at the end of my finger. And then you could just adjust it there without having to take all your brakes and everything apart. But again, this was a video that I wanted to do to kind of help out other do-it-yourselfers out there that are having the same issues. And then also I wanted to inspect these, the shoes, the pads, to make sure that they're not damaged and that everything was okay. Alright, so I hope this helped you guys out, and if it did, please like and subscribe. It really helps me out. Thank you guys, and hope you enjoyed it. Bye bye.